今仔暗是咱的宣助理要继续持续师导伊的15条法规，谦恭和蔼。To all master and to all Taukin, good evening. Again, tonight, Swan Zuli will continue to give us her compassionate guidance about the 15 Buddha's discipline, humble, respect, harmonious, and kind. 咱顺着邀请咱的酸助理甲咱慈悲示导。Now let us invite our Swan Zuli for her compassionate guidance.
大家好，阿弥。感谢天运师德，感谢祖师弘慈，感谢师尊师庙的大德，各位点传师的栽培，及各位前贤。今仔暗互向学，又阁有一个机会，按 Zoom 顶面，让甲大家做一个学习。咱15条法规内面的第7条，谦恭和蔼。Thank you to heaven's grace and to teacher's virtue. Thank you for the compassion of Buddha Maitreya, to the glory of our Shuan and Shimu, to the guidance and nurture of our Tian Chuan Si, and to everybody here tonight who are present, for giving me this chance to learn again the discussion of the 15 Buddha disciplines. Tonight we are going to discuss the number 7 item, which is to be humble, respectful, and kind. 谦恭和蔼。谦恭和蔼 is 第一字是谦，谦就是谦虚，还是谦让，就是咱着尽量将家己放托伊较细咧，亲像即个图的明面，咱唔通将家己放啊遐大，唔通将家己看较遐大，咱着将家己放细。而且将别人都放大，所以将别人放咧较重要的地位，将家己放咧较落尾咧。因为咱若是有法人有一个谦字，咱变做会得到别人真多好处，逐个人得到别人真多的假使，所以咱后摆变做毋是别人得到，变做是都是咱得到比别人佫较多。所以咱无需要去甲人占前面，咱应该着将家己放咧第后面，将别人放徛咧前面。像说咱若咧关物件，咱着将好的物件放咧，互别人先关，咱落尾再来关。这个就是一个谦虚还是谦虚example. To be humble. 谦 in English is humble. To be humble, we have to put ourselves in the last place and to put our reflections to become smaller than who we are. We should not look at ourselves as to be the one who is very competent, to be the one who must always win, or to be the one who must always be at first against other people. We have to put ourselves at the last place and put others before us. Just like when we are trying to choose some things, we have to let others choose first and let ourselves be the last to get what is left. So that is an example of being humble. 第二字是恭，恭就是恭敬，咱就会晓尊敬别人，咱会晓尊敬别人，别人就会服咱，而且咱若对别人有礼数，这个咱就是也是咧庄严咱家己。因为咱若会晓咧恭敬别人，别人就会服咱。这个人会说，这个修道人真正捌佛法，真正捌礼数。安尼这个形象，别人有的这个形象，伊对咱看咱是好的，所以自然就会提升咱的人格，别人会尊敬，互咱也是会受到真多的好处。伊一位说，别人对咱 对别人的尊敬就是咧庄严咱家己。咱做一个修道人，咱就知影佛法，就知影礼数。咱有法人安尼做出来，就是咧庄严咱家己。咱家己有法人受到真侪好处，而且有法人提供咱个人的人格。To be respectful is to show respect to others, to put others to when we show respect to others, we are dignifying ourselves also. And then when we show others that we are a well-learned cultivator, people will look at us with dignity. They will respect us. So through that, through giving respect to others, we gain the respect of other people instead. 第三D，接落来是和蔼，就是和蔼、互相、平和、温和。咱有法人做一个和蔼的人，别人甲咱做一个会感觉有温暖、有和气。伊会感觉甲咱做一个时有一个安全感，因袂说也惊甲咱做一个。别人若甲咱做一个时，伊会感觉也自在。所以咱若要用一个态度去对别人。人会感觉说，你是一个也好做一个的人。你若要托人叫人甲咱帮忙，人嘛也乐意甲咱帮忙。咱若要教别人，人嘛会也乐意互人教。所以谦恭和蔼真正是非常的重要。因为谦虚意味着咱着对家己严格，毋过咱着对别人较宽容咧。就是说，咱每一项代志都着。对家己的要求也高，咱袂晓的物件，每一项咱都着做啊，赶紧去学，每一项代志开做啊第一好。毋过对别人，咱就毋通有也高的要求，咱就要晓得宽容别人。别人做毋对的代志，咱会做你说，国介意，而且袂做你去，直接去甲人讲说你安尼毋对。To be humble is to be strict with oneself and be lenient with others. 第二条，谦虚意味着咱永远袂自满，永远要求进步。咱若是一个谦虚的人，咱会永远感觉说，咱家己知影的捌的代志，咱会晓的物件，拢讲也阁是也少。所以咱若有一个心态，咱就会积极的要去学习，要去学搁较多的物件，要去捌搁做的代志。所以咱若有一个心态，咱也是就是因为安尼会搁较进步。谦虚是一种自知之明，而且对未来的代志甲事物有敬畏。咱就知影说，咱家己有几斤几两。咱就知影说，咱也阁需要学习真侪代志，而且对咱所毋知影的物件，亲像说仙佛、上天，亲像说大自然，亲像说未来的代志，所以是咱毋知影的，咱就有一个尊敬甲敬兄的心。谦虚。谦虚就是水，虽然咱面前有遐侪水，毋过咱若要摕到咱所需要的汤匙，咱毋通说咱一阵有洗力，咱要滴的物件，咱拢叫要甲摕起来，别人无的，无咱会带，迄个就是毋对的咯。Being humble is to be strict with oneself and be lenient with others. We should never think that we are perfect. We should try to be humble enough to be strict with ourselves and to be lenient with other people. And never have too high demands on other people because we have too much expectations from others because we have to try instead ourselves to do everything to perfection in order to attain harmony among people. Being humble is never be complacent and eager to make progress. We should never think of ourselves as perfect. We should never think of ourselves as enough. We should always strive to learn more. Being humble is to have full knowledge of oneself and to respect the unknown. We have to know our own capacity. We have to know what we already know and what we still need to know. And we have to have great respect for those things that we do not know. Example, the things that we do not know may include things that we haven't experienced. Being humble is to take just a spoonful, even if there is a river full of water around. So being humble is not to use your power, to use your to obtain whatever we want. We have to take only what we need and leave the rest for other people to use. And that is being humble. So,咱若读易经，咱若有研究到易经的，咱会知影一个八卦。八卦中央一半是白，一半是黑，刷落来，伊就有64个卦。这64个卦内面，大家卦都无同，不过这64个卦内面有63个，拢讲是福，有带一个好，有带一个无好，福气有带一个无福气。有时是一半好，一半无好；有时是一半歹，一半好。不过无管啊，伊是偌好，拢讲内面都有带一点啊无好。如无管伊是偌无好，内面都有带一点啊好伫内面。咱就看一个八卦的中央，一半白，一半黑。白迄边永远有一点小块的黑，黑迄边永远有一点啊白。所以内面的63卦无一个是拢讲好的。不过中间有一个，咱有法人说，这个是龙讲出来的，个是好的。咱来看卖，迄个是什么卦？迄个就是八卦内面64卦内面的其中一个卦，就是咱的乾卦。咱中国人就算是一阵念外国人都真爱学习这个八卦，学习风水，学习咱的福气。八卦中有黑有白，无一个是龙讲好，无一个是龙讲歹，所以轻轻有一个乾卦是龙讲好，所以咱今仔就来学习这个乾卦。In the Book of Changes, we know that there is this patqua, or the hexagon, hexagram. In this patqua, there is in the center there is a part of white and another part of black. White represents positivity, while the black part represents negativity. There are 64 hexagrams in the patqua, and of the 64, 63 of them contains some good, and they also contain bad. Some may have 1/2 of it, which is good, but it will have 1/2 of it, which is bad. But some will have most of it, which is positive energy, but still it will bring along with it a little dot of negative energy. And while some will have most portion of it with great blessings, but it will also bring a little bit of misfortune along with it. Only one hexagram from the 64 hexagram brings along all the goodness, all the blessings, and all the fortunes. And let us see what hexagram it is. It is the Qian Gua, which means modesty or being humble. So that is why in our 15 disciplines, our Sichuan included the Qian in one of the 15 disciplines that we have to learn and to understand and to put it into action. So, ilan na letak, na nahaksip iking laibin, na nase, lan laibin na be o kitong sige kwa, lan just jo kaisi haksip an qian kwa, hikit sige kwa laibin, kaisi haksip. If we are planning to study only one hexagram from the 64 hexagrams of the Book of Changes, we should then start by studying and learning from the modesty hexagram first. Sự實上，東方及西方嘅人會接合咧定面，龍講咧講嘅都是差不多相同嘅，因為接合是咧講人性，而且咱就知影說人性唔管一個人是中國人、美國人，人性龍講是相同嘅，伊袂說因為伊是西方嘅人，及東方嘅人會無相同，所以每一個人嘅人性，按天頂來嘅人性。都是相同嘅。西方嘅天主教嘅教義裏面，有甲人講到七款嘅罪過，因叫做七宗罪。這個名七宗罪，也多人已經有聽起咯，因為這個名已經互人創做是一個也出名嘅遊戲，所以大家人有聽起這個七宗罪。唔過咱到底知影說七宗罪裏面，第一個是第一。咱就是第一個是第一嚴重嘅。In fact, Eastern and Western philosophy has many things in common because human nature stays unchanged. Western Catholic teachings describe the 7 original sins of human beings, which are called the 7 deadly sins. The name has also become a very classic suspense film. That is why so many people has already known about the 7 deadly sins. But then,所以咱先來看這個七宗罪到底是什麼？第一個就是咱的傲慢，第二個是惡妒，第三個是生氣，第四個是評斷，第五個就是咱的貪，接落來是暴食、了色欲。Of the 7 deadly sins, the first is our pride. Next, envy or jealousy. Next is anger. Next is sloth or laziness. Then greed and gluttony, which is the greed for food. And then lust. 所以，咱着克服嘅人性，因說咱人性第一項着克服嘅就是咱嘅傲慢。唔過，咱為什麼呢？咱那些咱着克服傲慢，為什麼？咱那着個先來學習咱嘅謙虛，這個謙虛有什麼重要？伊一位甲咱說，因為謙虛嘅對應，就是說伊嘅相反呢，就是傲慢。傲慢是人性中第一深嘅弱點，這個弱點是咱生活中所有失敗及災難嘅根源。而且咱人真艱苦有法能克服這個傲慢嘅這個弱點，所以。咱一個人，咱若要將咱的傲慢擱起來，咱就先學習會曉要怎樣去做一個謙虛的人。因為若是一個人有謙虛，伊就一定袂變做也空貪。若一個人也空貪，伊就一定唔是一個也謙虛的人。所以，咱若要克服一個，咱要將一個第一大的弱點摕煞，咱一定就按 学习怎啊做一个谦虚的人开始，咱才有法能做将咱一个傲慢，还是咱空坎的身体来提起来。因为咱一个人若傲慢，咱有可能会引起非常多的问题，甲灾难。Overcome the first weakness of human nature, which is arrogance or pride. Why is there a need to stress the importance of humility or modesty if we are just going to get rid of our arrogance? But we should know that arrogance is the opposite of humility. If a person is very arrogant, he will never be humble. And if a person is humble enough, he will never then become arrogant. Arrogance is the most deeply rooted weakness of human nature because it is the very serious weakness of people. That is why we have to get rid of it. And in order to get rid of arrogance, we should learn to become humble so that we can get rid of arrogance from our life. It is the root of all failure. In order to become successful, arrogance should be gone, and we have to learn to be humble because it is very difficult for humankind to overcome arrogance or pride. That is why it is very important that we should learn to be humble. And that is why in the 15 disciplines, being humble is included as one of the items of the 15 disciplines that we cultivators need to learn and know. So, 咱先来说，咱为什么咱要学习谦恭和蔼？咱先来看卖说，谦恭和蔼有什么好处？第一，息怒谦平，伊有法能互咱的歹脾气，互咱的头壳的烧热有法能平落来，有法能将咱的生气给提起来。互咱咧生气的时，咱若想到说，咱应该是着有礼数，应该是有谦虚的，咱会将咱的脾气给压落去。因为咱的特性就是咱一直接力的功德。咱的功德接到做一个，就是也做的时，就是看咱一个手拿内面的手。咱想捌的手拿内面有偌济手，咱若达到接，咱的功德就是像手拿的煮饭做。不过咱手拿的厝，咱若无好好来照顾，一日咱头壳烧热、生气，因为一句话也是一个人的动作，互咱也生气。咱一个无明的火，咱心内一个无明的火会忽然间发起来。咱的佛性，咱的光明的佛性，咱的本性就会起一个无明火去遮起来，所以咱的自性的功德的灵气就会去烧起咯。灵气若去烧起，咱就会失去咱先天的佛性。一个火若烧起来，将咱龙强的功德都甲咱烧起，咱的灵气消失咯，无去咯。而且咱若发脾气的时，咱一定会讲一个伤着众生的话，还是伤着众生的动作。所以，做话甲做动作就会变做将咱的罪搁加落去，咱的好的功德无去咯，而且搁会加罪，互咱变做一个恶灵。咱世尊甲人讲说：无明之火一旦燃。一焚无极电动凉，功德焚灵若失火，消磨灵气成罪魔。就是讲说，咱的火无明火烧起来，忽然间烧起，忽然间说一个无应该说的话，还是忽然间做一个无应该做的代志，咱达到积累的功德，做一个无去咯，而且会突然变做一个有罪的灵。所以咱是毋是也解脱？所以咱一定要真注意顾调咱的特性，互咱唔通去做着歹的代志，唔通去做着无好的代志，安尼才袂解脱咱逐摆说咱要积功德，积功德了，忽然间一日 long kyong zai ke ti bo ki lo kyam si ya che thua. Benefits of being humble, respectful, and kind. Number one, it can calm down our anger. Once the fire of ignorance burns, it is easy to commit monstrous sins and ruin one's own karma and bright future. Anger is the fierce fire of our ignorance, which can burn down and burn away all the merits that we have accumulated. All the merits that we have gradually accumulated, and when these merits are collected, it will become as big as a forest. So we can imagine how many trees are there in the forest, and that equals to the good deeds that we have done. So once our anger gets up, it will become a fierce fire that can burn away all the merits. So is it a waste that because just of one angry instant, it will burn down all the merits that we have? So as a result, the pure and original Buddha nature turns to become a sinful spirit with heavy karma, because when we get angry, we may say something or do something that may hurt other people, and it will become something bad or bad deeds for us. And instead of having good karma or good deeds, they are burned down, and we will add bad deeds or bad merits to ourselves, bad demerits to ourselves. Just like this fire, it is burning slowly and slowly, burning away our merits and good deeds that we have done. So we can see that it is a waste. So it is very important that we do not let our fire of anger come and arise.师尊甲人讲说，所谓谦恭和蔼者，教人处息怒谦平。就是说，咱若要做一个有谦恭和蔼的，第一项，咱就要学习会晓得修变咱的一个脾气，克杀咱的歹脾气甲毛病。咱将咱生气的心，甲收退平，唔通因为小块代志就发脾气。Jigong Buddha said, the above-mentioned discussion on humility and kindness is to teach people to get rid of anger and hatred. So once we are angry, we have to remember that we need to be humble, and we should not let our anger come up and do the things that can destroy our future. So 第二条，咱若谦恭和蔼有什么好处？第二，受益无穷，咱会得到真多的好处。咱若有法人做到谦恭和蔼，用谦恭和蔼的态度，咱会用一个态度去请教咱的前贤，咱的前贤会真欢喜的教咱。伊唔若教咱会问的，兼且连咱无问的，伊都会一直教咱教。所以咱若安尼做出去，咱就会进步也做，咱会收到也做。而且咱会用一个谦恭和蔼的口气去甲咱的同学讲话，咱的同学嘛会欢喜互咱教，而且因会学真欢喜、真快乐。那安尼，咱的道路就有法人发展真顺利，而且会真进步。不过，咱若无法人放下咱家己，咱无法人放下咱生命中会怀阻碍，咱就会真艰苦有法人做到 千公和蔼，咱就將家己放下，咱的功德念才會愈來愈闊愈大。Teacher Jigong said, ask the seniors with a humble and respectful attitude, and the seniors will certainly be willing to teach. Our virtue will naturally improve when we are being taught with beneficence. Help the juniors with a gentle demeanor and sympathetic and cordial tone. Do it with sincere and painstaking explanation, patient exhortation, guidance, and inspiration, and naturally mustering up the courage regardless of obstacles. Don't be afraid of all the hardships. Do your best for the great development of the Tao and build merits and virtue. So if we can overcome our anger, if we can become humble, we can have our seniors teach us, and we can also lead our juniors. That way, our Tao duties may be done more smoothly, and we can improve very fastly. So everybody can be happy to be together, and everybody can do things without counting of who is doing more and who is doing less, because everybody wants to help one another and to be successful in the end. That can only be possible if we do already know how to be humble and to be kind and to be respectful, not only to our Tian Chuan Si, not only to our seniors, but also to everybody around us. So it says here, humility leads to happiness because it makes you teachable. So if you are humble enough, you can be taught very easily, because proud people do not want to be taught because they think that they are already the perfect ones. So ilan tuton kwa? Ano te sa tiao? 化解艰难，咱有法人做到千公和蔼，咱有法人化解也做会劫难。咱的济公老師甲人講說，善氣迎人，人人親和患，戒難消闖動。咱對人若好氣，人人都歡喜甲咱做一個。咱若每個人都安尼，就會有團結，咱做代志嘛就會成功。如果說每一個人的感情都真好，咱就袂驚有冤家，咱也袂有比較，咱會真合作，一人做一人的代志，咱也無去理論，也袂去指責你好我歹，安尼就袂有冤家還是分派的代志會發生。那每一個人都真團結，咱的道務就一定會成功。Teacher Jigong said, in the Tao community, if you can get close to people with kindness, you will definitely be admired and be respected by others. Then, what worries are there, or what are the fears of discord within the Tao community and the occurrence of branching off into different factions? If everyone in the Tao community are loving to one another, we respect one another, there are no fights that will happen. If there are no fights, there will not be any factions. We will not have to divide ourselves into groups. Instead, we can work together as a group. We can be dependent on one another and help one another. That is the time that we can say that inside the Tao community, we can have our work done easily and harmoniously. That is why it is very important that within our Tao community, we should learn how to be respectful and how to be humble so that we can have a very harmonious working atmosphere.咱的志工老师甲咱讲说，咱若有法人吞论，迄个是一个真妙的代志。咱会晓吞论，咱换来就是安详、安宁。不过，咱一个人内面若是有咧生气，还是有无好的感情，内面一定有冤家、有吵、有相拍。咱若有相拍、有冤家，一定会招来一个无好的代志。添参在，咱若按社会顶，咱若甲别人无好，添在一日搭，人会要摕枪来甲咱击咧，还是摕刀来甲咱击咧。所以，咱若袂晓甲人和平的相处，袂晓说谦虚甲人做一个，咱就会招也做灾厄来。毋过相反呢，咱会晓说甲大家和平的做一个，咱就会招来也做的福气，龙奖的好的物件都会缀咧咱的身边，一直来，无需要咱去接应。了，所以人有的人脾气也歹，也爱甲人争，也爱甲人冤家。了一日搭，伊会拄着代志咯，别人甲伊冤家，伊去互人伤着。到我互人伤着的时，伊才要问说：为什么上天啊对我反无公平啊，互我去互别人伤害着？所以咱应该着想说，咱按头就着开始会晓说，咱着谦虚，毋通甲人毋通一直甲人争，一直甲人冤家，一直甲人争，咱就会避免也侪灾厄。There are infinite mysteries hidden in forbearance. Those who can endure humiliation have a pure and generous heart and are not polluted by the world and can treat others with kindness. If you can cultivate in harmony, you will be able to endure a moment of anger and gain auspiciousness and tranquility. Violent air is most likely to create conflict between people. So people fight with one another to show their bravery, thus creating self-inflicted calamity. And that time, people will start to complain that God is being unfair and has no protection over them. So how can people do that? Because in the first place, we should know that we have to be humble, we have to be kind, we have to be respectful in order to not to be get into trouble and hurt ourselves. Because some people, especially those who are really not well learned, especially those who are not yet enlightened, or who still do not know the Buddha rules, they will easily get angry and will fight with other people. And that is the time that they are inviting a lot of harm and disaster into their lives. So 咱知影，即阵咱知影说，谦恭和蔼对咱也最好处。毋过咱要怎啊才有法人做到谦恭和蔼？第一，恭而敬之，咱就是着对别人，互别人看起咱对因会尊敬。是讲老师节，咱每一个人都着知影说，咱每一个人的本分伫倒仔倒落。咱知影说，咱应该是着徛伫一个位，咱应该着做什么代志，什么咱应该做，什么咱毋应该做。咱讲的每一句话，咱都着非常的小心。咱做的每一项代志，也是着非常的小心，因为咱着知影说，咱做的每一项代志，每一句话都有会受着，会影响着遐侪物件，甲遐侪人。有时啊，咱感觉说，咱讲一句话都是笑话，为什么人咱也生气？迄个就是因为，虽然咱咧感觉咱咧讲的是笑话，是无代志、无要紧的话，毋过听咧别人的耳仔内面，迄个是一个真插戏、 真无欢喜的话，所以别人会对咱开始生气。所以咱若咧讲话，这代志都得非常非常的小心。The act of humility should be carried out in accordance with one's own capacity. Our every move, every word can't be taken lightly. So we have to be responsible for every word that we have said and be responsible of every action that we have done. Because sometimes when we have said something that we think is nothing, but it will become having a very big impact on other people. Sometimes we may think that what I have said is just a joke, but when it enters into the ears of other people, they might think that it is an insult or something that is very bad for them to hear. So we have to be very, very careful of our every word and every action so that we may not hurt other people's feeling unknowingly. Because sometimes we did not know that there are already people who are already mad at us because of just some very little things that we have said and done to them. So 咱即阵来讲一个故事，这个是咱的玉祖，关于咱玉祖甲法达法师的一个故事。这份的恭敬心就是福田百万吨。故事是咧讲咱的玉祖一日啊，伊个甲一个法达法师见面。法达法师看起咱的玉祖的时，伊在时就向伊行礼。毋过伊行礼的时，伊咧甲拜的时，伊搁较怎啊弯伊的头壳都无要去动着涂骹。所以咱的玉祖就看起安尼，感觉说这个人心内一定是有障碍，所以就问伊说：你咧顶礼，为什么你若毋甘将你的头壳去摆啊到头壳有法人动着涂骹安尼？伊说你心内是毋是有啥物障碍，有啥物问题？你做你说出来，我会好好爱听。所以法达就回答咱的玉祖说：我已经读真侪，已经读《法华经》读啊3千几篇咯。我已经《法华经》是佛教内面一本真重要的经典，所以说我《法华经》已经读3千几篇咯。我已经通也侪佛理咯。我无需要搁要向你顶礼的时，我无需要将我的头壳磕到涂骹咧。所以咱的玉祖听了，伊就笑，伊讲说：你心内其实是也阁无明理，你咧读的这经典是啥物？虽然你读啊也侪篇咯，毋过你根本毋知影内面咧教正是啥物，你无用心去咧学，你的心内若无迄个歹的念头，你阁怎啊去对别人顶礼，都袂去伤着你的自尊。迄个才是正说，你有正明白着佛经内面咧教你啥物，因为你心内若无念头，迄个就是无歹的。毋过你心内若有别物的念头，你甲人顶礼，将你的头壳磕干涂骹入去，你感觉说迄个就是无好的。法达听了，伊就安甲我说：哦，安尼原来一份的恭敬心。就有法人消除咱一份的业障，所以咱人真容易说，咱要用咱的能力、咱的权，还是咱的钱来养成咱的骄傲的心。对一个修道人来讲，咱真容易说看重佛法甲功德。咱逐摆说做一项代志有偌侪功德，咱才要去做。我做一项代志，我会得到遐侪功德。咱若是每一项代志都用伊来比较功德，看有得到偌侪，安尼咱就毋对咯。咱将咱家己放伫迄个念头内面，互咱家己想说，咱每一项动作、做每一项代志都应该有相当的功德。 如果咱若做代志，只是为了要积德，安尼咱就是已经做唔着去咯。人就会对咱无爱甲咱做一个，会离咱也远。所以咱要怎啊会善用咱的佛法？咱若人若无爱甲咱做一个，咱要怎啊用佛法去帮助别人，还是去帮助众生？所以有一份的恭敬心，就有法能消除一份的业障。安尼一份的恭敬心，就可能甲咱创出100万平的福田。A bit of respect, 1 million hectares of fortune. Once the sixth patriarch Huineng received a monk named Fata. When Fata bowed to the sixth patriarch Huineng, he refused to let his head touch the ground. The sixth patriarch knew that there was still some hindrances within his heart. So he asked him, when you bowed down, but your head is reluctant to touch the ground, why do you do that? Do you have hindrances in your heart? Can you say it and I will listen to you? Fata replied, there are already 3,000 volumes of Lotus Sutra that I have already recited. It turned out that Fata thought that he had recited the Lotus Sutra more than 3,000 times, that he has already mastered the principles of Buddhism, and he considered himself as an extraordinary person. So he did not want to touch the ground when he bowed down to to sixth patriarch Huineng. The sixth patriarch smiled and said, if you have not fully understood the sutra, you will never be enlightened. But still, you cannot, even though you have read it 3,000 times, but still you cannot understand its real teachings and meanings. So after listening to six patriarchs teaching, Fata had an epiphany. He said, with a bit of respect, one bit of karma can be eliminated. People tend to grow arrogant, and because they have ability, they have wealth, they have power, they think they are above other people. For cultivators, it is easy to be attached to the amount of merit and will limit himself, making himself unable to comprehend the truth. Everyone will keep you at a distance when you are doing that, let alone make good use of the Dharma and to help other people or some other sentient beings. Because a bit of respect can eliminate a bit of karma. Then, with a bit of respect, you can create your 1,000,000 hectares of blessing fields. So that is why it is very important for us to be humble and to respect others. 咱看亲像一支竹，咱逐摆说竹若愈悬，伊就会弯啊愈低。所以愈悬的竹弯啊愈低，怀较低的竹，伊根本就无法度弯落来。所以毋是说，咱若对人谦虚，咱就是将咱家己睇较低。其实是相反，咱若愈谦虚，人对咱的看法是愈悬。Be like the bamboo, the higher you grow, the deeper you bow. So it is not true that when we bow down to other people or when we put ourselves last and put others first, we are making ourselves smaller than others. This is not true because like the bamboo, the higher it is, the deeper that it can bow. So the more humble we are, people will see that we are more dignified. So 咱要怎啊谦恭和蔼，第二与众和睦，咱就甲逐个人好好啊的相处。咱修道人就平心气和，咱就看重甲别人有一个和气的相处的环境。咱才有法人去度化众生，咱若有法人上下就是较顺的人，甲你的相合，有法人团结，咱的道母才有法人奉献。咱的前辈，咱着尊敬，咱着恭敬伊， 毋过咱对咱的后学，咱嘛是着有恭敬甲尊重的心。安尼上下合作，咱的力量才会搁较大，咱的道路才有法通推展到也顺利。一个小大人，伊的脾气毛病若无法通过，伊就会拄着非常多的阻碍，而且会拄着真多的考验，做代志就袂顺利，就真困难，要成功就会真困难。咱老师甲咱说，咱要修一个天道，咱就重和气，而且咱会歹脾气甲毛病，咱都着过，伊才袂阻挡咱成功。咱若甲人失和咯，甲人冤家，甲人无好，咱家己一个人要怎啊去做反做道母？所以咱逐个人若有法通合作，分工合作，道母才有法通好好的做出来。Being in harmony with everyone is most important in Tao cultivation. In order to propagate the heavenly Tao, fellow cultivators must be at peace with one another. If a cultivator does not modify his temper and habit, it will bring about all kinds of obstacles. Once the harmonious relationship is gone, it will be difficult to support the overall Tao activity while depending on only a few people. If one can get close to people with kindness, he will definitely be admired and respected by others. So when we want to have harmony within a group, especially in the Tao community, we really have to learn to be very humble in order to have harmony and to get along with each other easily, so that when we want to propagate Tao, we will have a lot of people helping hand in hand, doing things so that we can be successful in our propagation. If we do not modify, if we cannot change our temper and habit, it will bring about so many difficulties and many obstacles. Because once the relationship between Tao members is destroyed, when we are no longer staying together harmoniously, it is very difficult for us to do things and to do it properly, because then we will have different factions. We will say that we want to go with this person, but we do not want to follow the other person. And how can we be successful if we are not cooperating and when we do not work as one? So it is very important that we have to know how to get along with everybody, because as a person, just like a big tree, one tree cannot carry a whole building. Maybe not even just one floor of building. So one person cannot do all the works. So we have to we have to cooperate with one another. We have to learn how to give and take and be respectful with everybody, so that we can work smoothly and be successful in our propagation. Number 3, on how to be humble, respectful, and kind is to have self-cultivation. Sige ukyam hi elang, hiếu dit biết chua gặp trong xiên hộp biển ở chơi chế. Lần số công ở trong xiên,唔是nào lấy công lắng,唔是nào lấy công lần số ai ở đồng bột, nào im 唔是nào包括咱嘅愛會高，咱愛會妙， 伊是包括所有的众生、所有的动物。所以一个有谦虚的人，伊就会知影说，伊无应该去伤害众生。所以呢，咱有一款的念头，咱就自然会知影说，咱袂做你去食众生的肉。咱就用咱原来的佛性去甲众生创出一个真好的关系。咱有一款好的灵气，伊会帮助咱招来非常多的好的代志甲物件，安尼福气就会跟咱一直来。亲像咱顶摆咧讲的，钱是四骹，人是两骹。咱若无迄款的福气，咱来钱嘛是会去福气招来，所以咱无需要去接福气，福气家己会走来找咱。所以咱就知影说，谦虚非常的重要。咱就家己修，互咱家己有法人知影说，咱就怎啊才做有法人做一个谦虚的人。Number 3 is self-cultivation. A humble and self-herding gentleman knows how to live in harmony with all sentient beings. When we say sentient beings here, we do not refer only to human beings. And still, we do not refer only to our pets, the animals that we love, our pet dogs, our pet cats, but it refers to every sentient being. It includes all the animals in the world. So that is why when we say we have to know how to learn to live in harmony with all sentient beings, we should then understand that we should not kill animals and we should not eat animal meats, because a humble person realizes the truth of Tao through humility and respect. We know that we should respect everybody, and this respect refers to respect for everyone, even our juniors. It is not restricted to have respect only to our Tianchuansi or to our seniors, but everyone. And here it includes also all the animals that we can see on earth. That is why we say that we should not eat, or we should not kill or eat animal meat. It shows the light from our own nature and forms a good relationship with all living beings with compassion. So that is why when we want to live with all beings with compassion, then we should learn to love all the living animals. This amiable Tao spirit will naturally attract endless auspiciousness. Auspiciousness is all the blessings, all the good things, all the fortune that we want in our life. As what we have discussed last week, that money has 4 legs, while human beings has only 2 legs. We can never run after money because money runs faster than us. But with auspiciousness, when we are blessed enough, fortune will come to us, and money will come our way without us needing to chase after them. So that is why it is very important that we should learn to be humble in order that we can invite a lot of good luck and blessings into our life. 所以咱一阵就是讲学习咱一阵今仔日的对白，谦恭和蔼，谦就是谦虚 ，be humble， 恭 respectful， 恭敬，和 harmonious， 咱甲人和平的相处，蔼就是和气 ，kind。今仔暗咱就学习到一位，感谢各位点传师，互学一个机会。今仔暗若是有讲唔对，请先佛师做，请点传师搁改正，搁补充。谢谢各位。
Thank you， 善传助理。咱请咱蔡点传师给咱补充，请点传师准备。请善传助理。
各位同学好，暗暝。
Good evening, everyone.
感谢周点老师甲点点老师给我有这个机会，踮咧遮学习结伴。
thank you very much to our Zhoutian Transfer and Tian-Kuan Transfer for giving me tonight this chance to make conclusion to our discussion tonight.
好，那今仔日珊珊助理甲咱讲的就是15条法规里面第7条。
Tonight, what we have discussed tonight is the 7th item of our 15 Buddha disciplines.
那么在开班以前呢，有放一首道歌这首道歌呢是礼拜日有名一首歌叫做《龙的传人》，落去架调的内面甲咱提醒什么叫做15条佛规？当然这是老师的话，具公活佛的话。
So before we have started with our lecture, we had a video that showed us the teachings of our Qigong Buddha, saying enumerating the 15 Buddha disciplines within the video.
那么这修道也好，还是讲咱学做人也好，学做人的道理也好，谦恭和蔼呢是一个真好的改善咱的人际关系的一个要点。
So as a cultivator or as just a plain person, being humble and respectful and kind is a very important point in developing our human relationship with other people.
咱知影谦什么叫做谦谦虚、谦恭这个谦卑的，就是爱甲咱的内心放落去虚。什么叫做虚咧？虚就是咱敢若咱伫迄个心经内面所说迄个空理，就是爱是来心内面迄寡放甜满满的物件，甲像为空。
So we have discussed about being humble. So how do we humble? Being humble is to empty whatever is within our heart. Our heart has had so many things within it. So we have to try to learn to put it back into the void state or empty state.
所以讲这篇道理的时阵，有讲到一句话叫做"不要自满，不自满，家己唔通甲家己创甜满满。"
A phrase mentioned in the discussion that we should not be self-satisfied, or we should not make us feel that we are already full.
咱想看卖一杯，这个茶杯若是空的时阵呢，才有法度通添水落去。
So we should imagine a cup or a glass. When the glass is empty, that is the time when we can put water in it.
那么咱要啉较侪水的时阵呢，咱当然是爱甲迄个杯仔内面有的水解决掉。
So if we want to add more water to the glass, naturally we have to empty the previous water so that we can add new water to it.
所以咱听道理嘛同款，咱学做人也同款。咱心肝内底呢，甜满满，得个十支的时阵呢，先讲的话，还是讲前年代底讲的话，咱敢听会入去，当然是听袂入去咯。所以咱受到真需要谦虚，真需要谦恭。
So while attending lectures, or when we are learning to be to be a person, we have to first empty what is within our heart, because how can we absorb all the teachings from the lectures when our heart is already full?
什么物件甲咱创啊甜满满的，咱就想看甜满满的，就是咱迄寡五蕴啦，还是讲迄寡贪嗔痴拢总好，贪嗔痴慢疑拢总是迄寡物件，甲咱的内心甲创啊甜满满，无法度个简单来甲添杯清的水入去。
So what is it that is making our mind or our heart very full? Example, our greed, anger, and ignorance. It has already filled up our mind, so we cannot learn to put new things in it.
所以咱做人一定要学晓安怎谦虚。
So as a person, we have to know and to learn how to be humble so that we can still be able to absorb new things to learn.
有一摆吼，伫个机头的即个发会内底吼，发生内面的一位叫做蓝采和大仙哦，伊来结缘。
So in one time in a Tao seminar in other group, one Saint Lan Cai He Da Si came and showed manifestation during the seminar.
哦，伊安尼甲咱教呢，伊讲一句话吼，伊的父母内面讲一句话吼，即几句话嘛是真简单，拢真白话，就啊说咧。伊讲吼，咱向长辈谦恭咧是本分。长辈哈，咱向长辈谦恭的是本分，本来应该要做的事。
So what he said in his during his manifestation is that he said to show respect to our elders, it is our obligation.
对于我older 啦、elder 啦、senior 啦，对于我 elder、older、senior 迄挂人吼，咱个偏咱个 elder、older、senior 迄挂人，咱对于谦恭，迄是咱的本来应该要做的代志吼。啊，第二点咧，向平辈甲咱上文的人谦恭的是和善。
So, and when we can show respect, and when we are humble towards people of the at the same level with us, meaning people as same with our age, it is being kind.
咱咧释放咱的 kind，那个咱的 harmony。
We are showing our kindness and our harmoniousness.
过来咧，向晚辈，向迄平咱甲下文的人，吼，啊，是甲后发的人，啊，是咱的囝辈啦、孙辈啦，谦恭咧，这是一种高贵、高贵。
And so, and if we are showing humble humility towards our juniors, our children, our grandchildren, it is, 什么样讲是？
高贵
noble,
高贵
noble,
noble，
it is noble,
nobleness 啊，高贵、高尚、高贵哦，高尚。最后一句咧，对所有的人谦恭咧是安全、安全。
So, and to become humble towards everybody, that means safety.
啊，咱等我这四句话咯，就是对迄个吼谦恭的对象，甲谦恭的迄个吼要点，我讲得非常的清楚。
So during this manifestation, it is looking toward the topic of being humble and respectful, and it is showing many importance to the being humble and respectful and kind.
好，咱过来看大自然，好，咱看大自然，哦，大自然，迄个吼，迄个阮的树仔咧，然后咧，还未满水的时阵咧，是徛甲直直直 ，rice 啦，白奶啊，吼，树仔，啊，还未把水的时阵是徛甲直直直，啊，当伊迄个树仔若满啦，若生甲无满的时阵咧，树仔就安怎就真正罕无，真正弯腰。
So now let us see from nature, when a palay or a rice plant still do not have rice on it, it can stand very straight and upright. But once the plant has bared many rice on it, it will bow down.
参像拄啊，所举的例子啦，阮地啊若地啊时阵徛直直啦，地啊若愈大丛的时阵愈压低，一三三的道理。
The same also with bamboo. When the bamboo is still very short, it will stand straight and upright. But when it is already very tall, it will also bow down.
这互咱想到老子道德经内面所说四字句。
So this leads us to think of what Lao Tzu has taught us.
道德经里面所讲的四字句，你讲上善若水，讲上大的善就是跟它水同款。
So he said that the most noble is like water.
跟水同款，咱上爱学就是要学水啦，有啥要学水咧？水善利万物而不争，水对每项物件拢有利益，但是伊拢袂抢功劳。
So why is it that we have to learn from water? Because water is good and useful to everybody and everything, but it will never take pride of what he has done to everyone.
咱来想看卖，水对山顶对天顶一直落雨流落来，那个尾啊，那会变做大海咧，变到遐尼大海咧，因为伊放假。
So we can see that water comes from the tallest mountain and it will flow up to the sea. How come that we can see that there are so many water in the sea? Because the mountain water is able to bow down and go down to the lowest point.
因为讲海真低，它的地很低，做法度容纳那么多的水。因为海的迄个地，伊的迄 level 真低，伊的水平很低，所以有法度容纳遐尼侪水啦。容纳
level of land is very low. That is why it can carry all the water from the mountain.
所以咱做人爱学水，学海，安尼低下低调，低下放较低下，放较低调了，尊重别人，尊重别人，缩小自己。
So we have, as a person, we have to learn from water. We have to learn to become a low-profile person. We have to learn how to respect others and to tiny up ourselves.
刚才几啊个日前，迄个Brenda 讲一篇道理，说好话，发好愿说好话，内面有一句歌词叫做尊重别人，缩小自己。
So just like what our sister Brenda has discussed during her lecture, that we have to say good words and do good deeds. There was a phrase that says that we have to minimize ourselves and to respect others.
好，那么自己对谦虚、谦恭、和蔼，一个上好一个归水。
And that is a very good explanation about being humble, respectful, and kind.
外口的迄个世界咱若学袂晓迄个谦虚的时阵咧，就敢若亲像上一堂课迄个周敬顺讲的一个例，一个牙青的迄个牙棒的一个少年人开一顶迄个几十桶的迄个贵车，去甲人沙弄着，气噗噗咯，举一支迄个棒球棍去拍迄个弄着伊的车迄个人，结果就要互掠去关。因为他不会谦恭，不会低调，就阿尾爱去可能爱去坐家，就爱去招来这坐家这个灾厄。
In order to be to live in the outside world, we have to learn to be humble, just like what our brother Stephen has mentioned. Christopher, during his discussion, that there was a person who is very proud, a young person with a very expensive car. He was very proud that when somebody hit his car, he hit back the young boy with a baseball bat. And because of that, he might be imprisoned. He might not, he doesn't know how to live in low profile. He was proud because he had a good car, and that will lead him to be detained in prison.
这就是刚才蓝采和大仙给咱讲的，对所有人谦恭才是安全。
Just like what our Lan Chai He Stasian has mentioned that if we can be humble towards everybody, we are leading ourselves into safety.
啊，那么咱想到，也是讲咱即马伫疫情内底拢共款，咱希望咱大家安全平安无代志。那么咱就是要学谦虚啊，对所有的众生谦虚，对所有的人谦虚。当然嘛要学对病毒谦虚。
So, as a cultivator, we all want everybody to be safe. So we have to learn to be humble. We have to be humble towards not just people, but towards all the animals. And also we have also learned to be humble towards the viruses.
咁啊，今仔日學下簡單做一個結班祝各位道親下到重點祝各位道親大家身體健康平安。
So that was my simple conclusion of our lecture tonight. Wish everybody will have good health and safety.
晚安。
Good night, everybody.